All right, Mugudada, how are you?
Mighty well. What about yourself, Don Dio?
I'm doing great. I have another question for you,
Sure.
if you're ready.
I'm always ready for you,
Okay, so
especially when I'm outside Whole Foods.
that's uh,
Yeah,
that's that's the only place to shop.
that's my second address. Actually, my primary address.
I believe it.
Yes.
Okay, here's your question. What made you decide to study and get the master's degrees and the other titles that you got from your education?
Good. Okay. So the reason why I decided to pursue secondary degrees beyond my bachelor degrees was because of what I learned through my first 4 years of college, which is that food was the most political thing that you ever touch in your life. That's the most political thing. I learned that in undergraduate. Why? Because actually that's the time I really experienced America. So when I got a college degree, really and truly, it was a fake degree. It was a fear degree. The degree that I should have gotten is the one I didn't get,
Hmm.
which is I had an opportunity to spend 4 years in college seeing people who are eating fear food, talking to professors who are consuming fear food, and just going to churches, mosques, all these places. So at the end of 4 years, I really did deserve a degree because I knew quite a bit about American food system. I was married to an African American family from Mississippi, so I would go and hang out with them at weddings, at funerals, at summer family reunions. So you can imagine some of those things that I could have never thought about that I would be able to experience when I was living in Kenya. It's like the biggest surprise ever. So that is why the degree that I've never said this before, the biggest degree I should have gotten when I got my graduate from undergraduate, I should have gotten a full degree. That this guy now is almost like an informer. He has all the goods on the American food system. As a spy, as an indigenous spy, he knows for the first time he has the blueprint of the empire food, the food empire, the food of the empire. That's why from there I decided to get a medical anthropology degree because I wanted to understand health from an anthropological perspective. Not thinking, not worry too much about the science of it, but more of the culture with it. The reason why people eat feared food is not because they know the science of the food, they know all the vitamins. They eat it for the culture. All the things that are tied to, oh, it's my birthday. It's my I never thought about is I celebrated the first birthday here in the US when I was 25. That's the first birthday party I ever had. But indigenous people don't celebrate birthdays. They celebrate um, timelines. Like when you transition from when you're born, that's a big celebration. Then when you become a teenager, there's a big celebration. When you become an elder, that's a big celebration. When you marry, that's a big celebration. They celebrate those the cultural crossing of certain timelines. But not every 365 days you have a celebration. You have a celebration for the season, for the sun, or for planting crops, right? But not as a person. So, but we have these cultures that are just very arbitrary, right? They are not like based on any science, but they are just arbitrary culture. And we attach certain eating habits to them. So that's why I wanted to really understand and delve a little bit more deeper into that. But I also wanted to study urban anthropology because majority of the people I knew by just the study that I'd done that a majority of the people will be eating, will be moving to the city, and the people in the city very differently. I could recognize one of the biggest differences in my life. I can almost divide my whole life experience, food experience in my entire life based on where I lived. Time I live in the city, that's one kind of experience. Time I live in the village, that's a different kind of experience. So I wanted to understand what are all the dynamics of urban anthropology that I needed to be aware of before I could be a Mugudada.
So your Kenyan espionage led you to
Yes,
be driven your degrees, and you ended up with a master's in medical anthropology and a master's in urban anthropology.
That's
And
correct.
and then you went on to get a chef title as well, right?
Not before I took. Not I had enough education of the empire, so I did 4 years independent study. So I just read. I had a job as a security guard, and all I did was read, 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 and I come home and read. And I read a lot of things that I would otherwise have never read. But why did I do that? Because I recognized that if I got in the mainstream job, then I'll never be able to read again. Which is why a lot of the people are intellectually um, limited. It's almost like a discrimination of sort. There is intellectual discrimination. You're being discriminated against because you're not going to learn a lot. Why? Because you're so busy because of the type of culture that the empire has created. We have all these ideas that you have to celebrate birthday every 365 days. That's a very important thing that has happened, that your life for this day, and everybody need to be aware of the 365-day clock for you has gone full circle. Comes with certain demands on your time. Yeah. So you'll have to spend money, which is your time, really. You spend every time you spend money. Those are that's time that you're actually investing in that concept. So anyway, because of those ideas, I knew that I wanted to take 4 months, 4 years, and just study, do my own PhD. So I did, and I started studying, and then I was really, really going through all the ideas that I have, going through them and checking them back again, making sure I dotted all the T's. I'm not just making flat theories that I just believe. No, I didn't believe. I did a lot of research, as much as I could, at least, to come to the conclusion, at least to myself, that I'm fully convinced, not anybody else, I'm fully convinced that the path I'm on is the right path for me. That's why I went to culinary school. I was fully convinced that I'd be working around food from that point. So I went to culinary school just so that I can study there. I can be another espionage in the food of the empire. That gotta be the what do you call the queen? That's literally the centerpiece of the food empire, or the actual empire was its food system. Yeah. And so I studied Western culinary tradition just to understand it. So that's what I went to culinary school for.
Well,
So when I'm called a chef,
thankfully, we have now a Chef Kabui who's also Mùgùndada.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right.
Dayo, chef.
Dayo, dayo.